Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Sunday. Welcome back to another episode of Melanie Tries High-End Candle Brands and has a few regrets. All right. I feel like my little foray into Glasshouse candles hasn't been the best so far. This is the second Glasshouse candle that I am reviewing. The first one was the One Night in Rio fragrance, which is a lovely scent. Let me just say, the fragrance itself, there's nothing wrong with the scent. However, the burn performance of my candle, which was a 2-wick like this one here, was just atrocious. Basically, the wicks just disintegrated, and I ended up having to put that candle, first I actually put it underneath my candle lamp, and then I just opted to move it into the laundry room and put it in the candle crock. There was no way for me to even like burn the candle because there were no wicks left above the wax level to relight the candle. Now I will say the wicks on the fragrance that I am reviewing for you guys today are not nearly as fragile as the One Night in Rio. But with this one, I am having a problem with the fragrance itself and also a little bit of the burn too, but we're gonna get into all that. So overall, I have to admit that I am not really super crazy excited to try much else from Glasshouse, at least with respect to the candles. Now, I have actually heard much better things, and this has come from all of you guys in the comments, so thank you so much for sharing your information with me. I have heard that their reed sticks are actually fabulous. I have also heard that their body care and their perfumes, like their personal fragrance, that those are absolutely delightful and totally worth trying. So I don't think that I am done with Glasshouse completely, but I do think that I might be done, at least for this year, with trying some more Glasshouse candles. I think both of the candles that I purchased, by the way, I ended up picking mine up through Skin Store. I have my own affiliate code through Skin Store, and so I was able to save 25% off of these. If you want to buy whatever from Skin Store, you can definitely use that discount code on, you can use it on Glasshouse, you can use it on pretty much most other things over at Skin Store. So I will leave that information down below if you're interested, but obviously no pressure. But yeah, I used my 25% off to save a little bit of money on these because the formats that I chose were these 2-wick styles here, and these retailed for, I believe that they are $50 each. So not like terribly expensive in the realm of luxury candles, if you will, but definitely a lot more money than I feel like I normally spend per candle. So my typical go-to brands, if you are new here, is I tend to gravitate towards Homeworx, Kringle, Bath and Body Works, candle companies that tend to have some pretty decent sales, whose prices are maybe on, I would say, like the lower end of the spectrum. And I realize that that is definitely subjective because everybody's budget is different. But I went ahead and put Glasshouse into the luxury candle realm for myself because I don't normally spend $50 on a 2-wick candle of this size. Now, again, I didn't pay $50 because I used the discount code, but still, it was still more than I spend on an average candle. And I'm just not terribly impressed with what I've seen so far. Glasshouse is an Australian brand, and I feel like there may have been a change in their formulation in the last couple of years, because a lot of comments that I read through on my last review and when I shared my initial haul video of these candles, a lot of you said that, I think it was back in 2019, Glasshouse kind of started switching some things around when it comes to their candles. And many of you who have been with this company for a while have said that the candles have gone downhill since that change up. So kind of is making me wish that I would have experienced these like back in their glory days. But I think I may have missed that. Now, that being said, I am not completely writing off Glasshouse candles for all eternity because of my experiences. I just think for right now, it might be a case of maybe the company is, you know, trying some new things, and it may just not be working out. There are times when candle companies will change things up, and sometimes that's an amazing decision, and sometimes that is a decision that brings disappointment. So in this case, I'm obviously dealing with some disappointment here, but that being said, still glad that I tried them, still glad to have the experience, still glad to be able to share my feedback with you guys. So hopefully, if you are thinking of trying these, maybe this helps you make a better buying decision for yourself. So I'm still going to review this the way that I normally do. So we're going to go in with the description of the fragrance. We're going to talk about the strength and the throw, the overall burn quality, you know, and just kind of round it out there at the end. All right. So this one is actually currently sold out over at Skin Store. So I had to pull up the information in terms of like the scent notes and stuff, because I decided not to keep the boxes. Like, I just don't have room to keep boxes anymore. I am pulling up the details of this from the Neiman Marcus website, which also sells Glasshouse. So you can also check out the candles from there. All right, so they have a nice little story here. I don't even think that Skin Store had this little blurb, but let's read through it. Northwest of nowhere in the turquoise belt of the South Pacific lies Tahaa, a perfect lush green haven to sail to whenever. Vanilla bean, frankincense, and coconut layer together, and you're there in, oh, I see a major typo. And you're there in the warm, sweet air of Vanilla Island. All right, so I knew before getting this that this was a combination of caramel and vanilla. Admittedly, caramel is kind of a tough scent for me. It has to be done in a very certain way for me to not think of it as cloying or overly sweet or just kind of like, bleh, like, you know? There are a lot of candle companies, especially I'm thinking about Homeworx here. Like, Harry loves to add caramel to a lot of his fragrances, and sometimes I really like it, and sometimes I think I really wish that this did not have caramel. Like, I'm very, very particular about it, and this is not a caramel that I care for at all. So honestly, it kind of ruins the scent for me, but let's keep going. All right, your top notes here. And these are so interesting to me. Your top notes are apricot, plum, and coconut. Your mid notes are tuberose, jasmine, lily of the valley, rose, Brazilian rosewood, and caraway. Your base is sandalwood, almond, vanilla, and musk. All right, so all of those floral notes that I mentioned, the fruity notes of apricot, plum, and coconut, I don't smell any of that. Like, and I know that sometimes those are just like supporting fragrances. Like, they're not meant to be like something that is necessarily super noticeable within the fragrance, but it just kind of helps to boost up some of the other oils, other fragrances that are in the formulation, right? But even usually when this is done with other companies, like sometimes I can still detect hints of some of those like supporting notes. But with this one, I literally don't get any of that. What I do smell is a touch of sandalwood. I do smell vanilla, and I do get a muskiness, but I also get a really rancid caramel note. It makes me think that this one might be maybe something went wrong in the production, because I don't think this smells right at all. And I mean, maybe if you have some experience with this particular scent, maybe you can kind of fill me in, because like I said, I'm pretty new to this brand overall. I have heard about it mostly from Shantae over on Instagram. Her Instagram is, I think it's just Shantae, right? I will link it down below. She's fantastic. If you're not following her, definitely do. She's fabulous. But she really likes a lot of these Glasshouse fragrances, and she is originally who I kind of, you know, like started hearing about the brand, who I heard mentioning the brand the most frequently. So that's how I kind of got into this rabbit hole of Glasshouse, is through her. But yeah, this to me smells like a really rancid caramel, like not even burnt, not fresh in any kind of way, like old and stale. I guess stale might be a better description of it. It's not good, you guys. I really don't like the way that this smells. And this is the reason that you are seeing me review this candle before it's even at the halfway point, because I am struggling burning this. I don't like this scent. And fragrance preferences are very subjective and personal. And it might be that, I don't know, maybe there's something going on with my nose or my hormones, and it's just kind of messing up the smell for me. But I don't feel like any of the other fragrances that I'm burning are smelling different or off to me. So it makes me think that it's not my nose, because everything else is fine. All of my usual go-tos smell the same, like nothing smells funky or off. So I don't think it's a problem of my nose, but I don't want to like discount that either. I want to be respectful in my review. I don't believe in being like super like critical in an awful way. I want to provide feedback that might be helpful for the company. So yeah, I don't know. I was trying to figure out, by the way, this is the lid. It's a really cute little like apothecary style jar. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like a smaller version of the Kringle jars, but this lid has obviously that little thing here. By the way, this lid fits on my older Henry Bendel candles. So I don't know if that would be helpful to any of you guys, but I've been using the lid from the other one. I washed it, and I've been using that on my Henry Bendel Vanilla Bean candle. It's delightful. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna pick this up really quickly here and see if I can see some kind of like a pour date. It looks like this was from 2021. Yeah, 2021. It does not say down here what the wax combination is. I feel like I think this is some kind of soy blend. I'm sorry, I talked about what the fragrance, not the fragrance, but I talked about what the wax was in my review of One Night in Rio. Check out the description box down below. I will put kind of the more pertinent information when it comes to like the ounces of this candle, the typical burn time, and the type of wax that it is. I will put that information down below, so check that out down there. But yeah, it looks like this one was poured in 2021, so pretty recent, I would say. Definitely after that supposed 2019 changeover, or when people started noticing things going downhill a little bit with this brand. So yeah, for what it's worth, I don't really love this scent, but also, like I said, scent is pretty subjective. The preferences are, so you might really enjoy this one. It's not it for me. Now, my other beef with this candle is that typically if I don't want it to tunnel, I do have to wrap it in foil. I don't have it wrapped in foil right now. I will give you guys an overhead view. I lit this an hour ago, and it still has not completely pulled out, and it is going to tunnel. So let me give you guys that overhead view really quickly here. You can see that she just really she kind of struggles a little bit in terms of pulling out. So that is fixable when you wrap it in tin foil. But like I said in my review of the other one, if I feel like I have to wrap a super expensive candle in tin foil, it kind of takes away from like that high-end luxury experience, if you will. And quite frankly, I get a better burn out of like my Bath & Body Works candles. And you guys know that I do tend to struggle with the burn of a lot of Bath & Body Works candles. So, but I'm also only on average paying somewhere between like, you know, $10 or $11 at the most for a Bath & Body Works candle. And with those, I get quite a bit more strength and throw out of them as well. So there's that. In terms of strength and throw, let's discuss that here. So the tunneling is definitely issue number one that I wanted to make you guys aware of. They do, I think, have other containers that apparently tunnel a little bit less. I think they have some metal containers as well. I obviously did not opt to get any of those. I really like the look of the glass here, but that might not be the best format to try this brand out in, just a heads up. Let's talk about strength and throw. So for the Tahaa Affair, which is this fragrance here, I'm gonna give the strength about a 4. It is certainly noticeable when I walk into the room. I'm really glad it's not any stronger than that, because if I don't like the scent, then that's not gonna be a great thing for me, right? Like I don't really actually wanna smell this, so I'm good with that. The throw is also pretty minimal as well. As you can see, the wicks on this one are definitely, they're alive. They are still here, they are kicking. But I do foresee these wicks at some point potentially, you know, kind of futzing out. I do see them curling right now. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see that on camera, but can you see, it is literally making a like right-hand turn. This wick is, you totally can't see that on camera. Let's see if I zoom in. Bear with me, sorry, I don't have the best camera skills. I'm trying. Can you see? No, you can't, but yeah, this wick is like, it's going this way. It's hitching a ride this way. And the other one is doing the same. I do not have an airflow problem here, so I'm not sure. This is just what the wicks are doing. And this is what I actually noticed about the One Night in Rio, is that it started almost like curling in on itself, and then it like curled into the wax. Now, I'm sure someone's gonna be like, just trim the wick. Well, if I trim this, it's going to be so short that it's just gonna be a nub. And that is going to make that tunneling even worse. So I feel like these are an example of a self-extinguishing wick. And maybe that is, I don't know, is that a safety feature? It's not very helpful if you're trying to burn a candle. So I would say if it's a safety feature, maybe turn that off, you know, and just let people, you know, actually be able to burn the candle. But yeah, throw, did I tell you guys about the throw? I'm gonna give that about a 3. It really does not travel much outside of the area where I have the candle placed. I've had this in my front living room here. You guys have probably seen it just kind of sitting in the background. I really have not given this candle much attention. I burned it a few times when I first got it, and honestly, it's just kind of been sitting there. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'm thinking about trying it out in a candle crock, because if I do that, I can kind of gauge and see if maybe the flame is the problem. Maybe the flame is causing that caramel to smell a little bit more rancid to me. A lot of times when I put a candle that I don't really care for into a crock, it changes the scent profile ever so slightly and can make certain scents a little bit more enjoyable for me. So I think I might do that. Honestly, I'm writing these 2 candles off, like, and that's fine. I can do that. I do that with my YouTube taxes anyway. So sometimes you're just gonna buy something that's a little bit of a dud. I'm not gonna bother returning these, even though I would probably consider them defective. But I'm not going through the hassle of like trying to return this to Skin Store. They're not terrible about, you know, returns or anything like that, but I I don't have time for this. So I think I'm gonna just go ahead and call this a lesson learned, at least on these 2 candles that I purchased. I'm gonna be a little bit more mindful about future Glasshouse candle purchases and maybe try out a different style of container if I can find one. But it might be next year at this point, because there are a lot of other candle companies and you know, that I have on my list to try. Some other luxury candles and then some other like more affordable candle companies as well. So I'm going to continue to try to branch out a little bit more this year and bring you guys some different content other than just the usual. But I will say my foray into Glasshouse has really not gone as well as I would have hoped. So all that being said, sometimes that happens. I am not angry about it. I am not disappointed. I am just, yeah, it happened. And sometimes it does. So it is what it is. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Please do let others know about your own personal experience with Glasshouse in the comments down below. I think it's always helpful for people to see a range of experiences and not just my own. I don't think I've seen a ton of other reviews of Glasshouse here on YouTube. I believe that Josh over at Touch the Fire Twice has done a couple of Glasshouse reviews. So that might be another opportunity to check out some other opinions there. So feel free to do that. And yeah, Josh's channel is just great in general. So he provides a lot of really great in-depth candle information, and he's really knowledgeable about the history of a lot of these companies. So definitely worth checking out. Let me know if you have any questions. I will go ahead and link this down below. I guess I'll have to link it at Neiman Marcus because they have it in stock. So feel free to check that out. Please give this video a big fat thumbs up if you found it helpful. Subscribe if you are new. There is one more candle review coming today. It will be a Bath & Body Works candle review. So if you're interested in that, please stay tuned. And then that will complete candle review day here on my channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.